welcome to Wine, Sex and Chill. I hope you guys have been doing good, and I hope you'll excuse me for not having wine today. On the 28th of October was my birthday. I turned 25 years old, and that Saturday my friends and I went out. And let's just say alcohol, dancing and heels is not a good combination after 8 hours. My body still hurts. I do not want to see heels. I do not want to smell or see alcohol. So you guys can drink as I speak to you. So as of last episode, I told you guys that today's episode is going to be about circumcised versus uncircumcised penis. And as luck would have it, or as the universe would have it, I've slept with both men and I have picked up a few things and I will let you guys know. So let's get right into it. So first things first, here in Kenya, majority of the tribes circumcise their boys depending on their customs and their traditions. So some circumcise them at 3 days after birth, others a few months after birth, and others when the boy is at about the age of 11, 12 or 13. So that's when it happens. I come from the Kikuyu tribe where we circumcise our boys after primary school. So it's usually the December of, after they finish primary. So when they're like 12, 13, 14, that's when they get circumcised. And it has gotten to a point where circumcision is like a personal preference. As much we are Africans, so we follow our customs and traditions, but there's a few tribes that do not circumcise their boys. And here in Kenya, when you think of uncircumcised men, your mind instantly goes to the Luos. The Luos do not circumcise their boys. Although I have come across a few Luos who are circumcised because of their parents' decision, but at the end of the day, like the tribe where majority of men are not circumcised. So my uncircumcised men experience has come from Luo boys. So the main question you guys had was, how can you tell the difference? Like, what's the physical difference between a circumcised and an uncircumcised penis? So I'm going to use the sleeve of my sweater to demonstrate that. So we'll start with a circumcised penis because that's the most popular one. That's the one you see a lot. So when you look at a penis when you're getting it on and stuff, this is how it looks like. This is the head and then the body, and then there's usually like that ridge or there's that bump that's around. So for a circumcised penis, the head is usually lighter than the body, and then there's that bump, like you can see the bump instantly. So this is how a circumcised penis looks like. So for an uncircumcised one, it has that extra foreskin. So when circumcision is happening, the foreskin is what is cut, is what is removed. But for a man who's not circumcised, it looks something like this. So obviously it's hanging. So the skin is usually there. So you can tell when the dick is flaccid, when the penis is flaccid, it looks like this is just skin hanging, like it's something you can instantly tell. So when you look at a man who's not who's flaccid, you'll just tell instantly, like it just droops, like it's just there. It looks so sad. You're just like, are you okay? Do you want to talk? Kind of situation. Like that's what I think of when I see an uncircumcised penis. It's just that extra foreskin. So instantly you'll tell the difference. It's the main physical difference. Like it's just like circumcised, uncircumcised. So yeah, that's how you can tell the difference. So now when it comes to sexual experience, the difference isn't that huge because the same thing, they look exactly alike when they're hard, when they're very erect, because the foreskin pulls back completely to expose the head. So it just looks like any other penis that is circumcised when fully erect, because the foreskin is pulled back, stretches over the penis, and then shows the head. So when fully erect, you won't see a difference and you won't feel a major difference. So as I said in the last episode, size does and doesn't matter. So it's the same thing, like when it comes to having sex, when they are fully erect, it's just how the man knows how to use his equipment. If he knows how to use it, you'll experience it, you'll be good, you'll be like left seeing wonders, passing out instantly if you're like me. And if they don't know how to use it, you're not going to enjoy that experience. So as I said, my experience with uncircumcised men comes from the Luo boys. I have slept with 3 Luo boys. One was circumcised, as I said, and then the other 2 are not circumcised. So Mr. D, you can go back to the last episode, I explained Mr. D is uncircumcised. And another thing with him, he has little to no sexual experience. So he's one of my hugest mistakes. Like when I think about it, I just want to, like, why did I go there? What was I doing? What was I thinking? I was just like, ugh, why? So the entire time it was like he was fumbling. He didn't know how to use his penis, and he kept saying he was feeling pain when he was getting erect because the skin was being pulled. And I was just like, why? So in the back of my head I kept telling myself, nope, it's fine, I am not crossing that line of sleeping with uncircumcised men again. If this is how it is, I'm not doing it. I do not want it. I will just stick away from them and stick to my peeps, the ones that I've experienced, the ones that I know, and I'm just like good with that. But then a few months later I came across Mr. F. So Mr. F, I think that's what we're going to do, by the way. We're going to describe my sexual encounters with letters, and yeah, because it's easier that way. So Mr. F is uncircumcised, as I said, and the first time we had sex I didn't realize it because it was all hot and bothered. It was like, I want you now, I don't care, let's do these things, let's get right into it. So afterwards was when he was telling me, oh, do you have a problem with uncircumcised men? And I'm like, why are you asking? Because he goes like, I am uncircumcised. And I was like, but that was good. The last person I slept with was uncircumcised, and it was the worst experience in my life. So then I was like, yeah, you're like, how you use your equipment is where it's at. Like, I was like, oh, cool, I enjoyed it. Like, this, let's keep doing this, let's keep going there. So as I said, it's all about experience. It's about how the man knows how to use his equipment. But then another thing comes when having foreplay, because as I said, the foreskin has to pull back and expose the head when it's fully erect. So that process of pulling back needs to be very careful, because it's skin. When skin is dry and you try to stretch it or move it, it's a no, it's a painful. So the man has to be well lubricated in order for the skin to pull back easily and him not to feel pain. So when it comes to foreplay and stuff, like, it usually has to be like a delicate process before he fully erects and fully penetrates you when the skin is pulling back. So it takes a few extra minutes than being with a circumcised man for that skin to properly pull back and stuff and get things going. And also when it comes to blowjobs, I'm just going to say it. Hi, my name is Nemo and I enjoy giving blowjobs. So it's another thing that you have to consider, because now, as I said, the foreskin is up. So when you're doing the blowjob, you don't want the skin in your mouth, because it's a weird feeling having that skin just in your mouth. So you have to like slowly pull back the skin, like give a hand job, like make sure the skin is full so that you can get to the head and do what you need to do. So that extra skin usually becomes a hindrance of sorts until the guy is fully erect. So that's one of the cons. It's just that extra skin is a hindrance. Just like when you want it, when you really, really need it, and you have to take this extra 2 minutes, and you're just like, why? But it's okay, breathe, we can do it, it's fine, it's never that serious. The next major con is when it comes to personal hygiene. If there's this thing I cannot stand smelling people. If you do not know how to clean yourself or take care of yourself, it's just I just don't know. I can't stand smells. I can't stand it's something I can't stand. So now imagine, like, when you don't clean the back of your ears properly, or when you don't clean your ears properly, like, there's usually that when you have extra skin, like the crevices, if you don't constantly clean them, like, that begins to build up, it becomes crusty. So now take that and imagine it in the folds of the foreskin. It's ugly, it's not pretty, it's just So if a guy does not know how to wash his penis properly, how to take care of himself properly, you can imagine the stench that chappers you when all of that is going on. It's just like a no-no. Like for guys, so when you're going down on a chick and then she has no personal hygiene whatsoever, and then the stench that gongas you, just like, are you trying to kill me, girl? Like, what you trying to do? So that's the major con. If a guy does not know how to take care of his extra skin, it's going to be ugly. And that's why, like, medical practitioners and people usually recommend just having boys circumcised, because that extra skin becomes a hindrance if you don't know how to take care of yourself. Bacteria can harbor, like, because if it's moist, if you don't dry it properly, you easily transmit STIs, STDs. So that's why, like, that's the main medical reason why people are encouraged to get circumcised. So it just all comes down to personal hygiene. Once you get your personal hygiene taken care of, it's all good, like, it's all fine. Like, we can be good as long as you know how to use your equipment, you're clean, like, you wash yourself properly, you take care of yourself properly, we're good to go. So yeah, those are the main differences between circumcised and uncircumcised men. Oh wait, there's one more. This one is really, really nice. So I like calling uncircumcised men who have girth a 2-in-1 size, and let me explain why. Because you can imagine if somebody is thick already and then they penetrate you, it's just like, whew, you're feeling all my spaces, like, do that again. But then now when the guy is not fully erect and there's some skin that has penetrated, like, has entered your vagina, and then he pulls back the skin, it's just like I don't know how to explain it, like, it's a 2-in-1 size, like, you experience 2 sizes at once, and it's really like, wow, please do that again, like, just do that again. So whew, yes, those are the differences when it comes to circumcised and uncircumcised men. I have no, like, preference, like, it doesn't matter to me whether you're circumcised or not, like, it's fine as long as you know how to use your equipment, as long as you're clean, like, as I said, we're good to go. But if I had to choose one, I'd choose, just because I like penetration, I don't like things in my way, so circumcised men are where it's at. Plus, my best experiences have been with circumcised men. Although Mr. F can put it down, he can put it down. It's just, there's something about not having that extra foreskin to deal with that I actually like. But it's fine as long as I'm taken care of. Like, I have this thing where these days it's all about satisfying my cravings. As long as I'm not hurting myself or hurting anyone, I just want to satisfy my cravings. Like, it gets to a point where I'm craving a particular person, I'll be like, yo, how are you? You good? You wanna hang? And he's like, if the guy's like, yeah, I'm like, whoo, that craving is satisfied, you know? So it's just all about your preference, what you want, what you like, what you don't like, what you're craving. I know I'm making it sound like a meal or a menu, but see, nowadays we call each other snacks. So what are you craving? So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your preferences down below. If you've had both circumcised and uncircumcised men, like, what's your preference? Let me know down below. If you have any questions, ask me, it's fine. Like, you guys can send me emails. You guys have been sending me emails more often, because I understand if you don't want to talk about this in an open space, it's fine, email me. I love reading your emails. Like, you guys, some of you have made me laugh to a point I'm crying, I'm in tears, because your emails are just amazing. They're just the best. So if you don't want to put your comments on your preferences in the comment section, just email me. My email is always in my description bar. And yeah, next episode is going to be a part 2 of personal hygiene, and I say a part 2 because I had the opportunity to collaborate with girls in Kenya killing it, and I did a video for them on personal hygiene, my personal hygiene routine, and I will leave a link to that here and in the description bar where you guys can go and watch it. And then I'm doing a part 2 because some questions are being asked that are not in that video, so I will reiterate the points I said in the previous video and then add more personal care routine in the next video. So if you have any specific questions when it comes to personal hygiene, let me know. I will be glad to answer them. And if you have any other topics you guys want to discuss, let me know as always. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.